Mozac Abbey is a former Cluniac monastery in the commune of Mozac near Riom in Auvergne, France. A monastery was founded here in either 533 or 680 by Saint Calminius, Saint Common, and his wife, Saint Nematia. Calminius is said to have given the new monastery relics of Saint Peter, to whom the foundation was dedicated, and of Saint Capratius of Agen, brought from Agen, of which there has long been no trace. From King Pepin, either Pepin the Short in 764 or Pepin II of Aquitaine in 848, the monastery received the relics of Saint Ostromonius, first bishop of Clermont and responsible for the evangelization of the Auvergne. The abbey passed under royal protection. These have survived until today and are preserved in a painted wooden casket of the 16th century. The Chas reliquary of Calminius, or Saint Common, is one of the outstanding masterpieces of Limoges enamel. In 1095 Pope Urban II launched the First Crusade at the Council of Clermont and at the same time affiliated Mozac to the Cluniac order. Nevertheless, Mozac was able to retain some of its independence, as it remained an abbey rather than becoming a dependent priory, as were most of Cluny's affiliated houses. The abbey was rebuilt in the early 12th century. The buildings were severely damaged and largely destroyed in a series of earthquakes between 1477 and 1490. And among the few remains of the Romanesque architecture that have survived are carved Romanesque capitals, illustration, that were particularly noted by Prosper Mérimée in the first assessment of medieval monuments in France. What renders the Church of Mozac particularly interesting are its capitals, which, for the merit of their execution, may be compared to the best of Brud. The rebuilding was carried out in the Gothic style, using the harder Volvic stone instead of the limestone of the earlier constructions. From 1516 Mozac was ruled by Commendatory abbots who were not in residence. In 1790 the abbey was dissolved in the French Revolution. The abbey church survives as the parish church of Mozac. Romanesque capitals with figurative carvings of high quality survive in some quantity, and the church still contains some elements of Romanesque architecture. The relics of Saint Ostromonius are still preserved here, as are those of the founder Saint Calminius, in a Chas reliquary shrine. Illustrations of details, which is the largest extant reliquary in medieval Limoges enamel in the world. About 681, Euterius. 8th century, Lunfred I. 8th century, Lunfred II. End of the 9th century, Mansion. 9th century, Robert. About 950, Stephen I. 11th century, Gerald. About 1061, Peter I. About 1095, Eustache de Guyens. About 1102, Hugues de Seymour. In 1131 and 1147, Eustache II de Montboissier. In 1168 and 1181, Pierre III de Marsac. In 1195 and 1197, Guillaume de Bromont. About 1205, Eustorge. About 1212, Geronte de la Tour. In 1217 and 1243, Aymeric de Mercure. About 1245, Pierre Fort de Chazillas. 1252 to 1267, Pierre V. de Serpans. In 1267 and 1269, Aymon de Vergy. In 1277 and 1284, Pierre VI de la Ferte Chauderin. In 1284 and 1286, Aymon II Brun. 1286 to 1294, Guillaume II de Saint Saturnin. 1294 to 1309, Pierre VII de Valier. 1318 to 1343, Guy de Grisoles. 1343 to 1349, Jean de Saint-Cernin. In 1350 and 1352, Bernard de Tranchellian. In 1361 and 1377, Etienne de Cotat. In 1380 and 1406, Jean II de Laquille. 1406 to 1419, Philibert d'Archambaud. 1420 to 1424, Philibert de l'Espinasse. 1424 to 1458, Louis I de Banson. 1459 to 1470, Raymond de Marcenat. 1479 to 1509, Jean III de Marcenat. 1510 to 1515, Louis II de Chassagne. 1516 to 1524, Claude Duprat. 1524 to 1528, Thomas Duprat. 1529 to 1560, Guillaume Duprat. 1568 to 1570, Sebastian de l'Aubespine. 1571 to 1610, Nicolas de Neuville de Villeroy. 1613 to 1640, Antoine Rigoulet. 1641 to 1655, Camille de Neuville de Villeroy. 1655 to 1705, François d'Albon. 1705 to 1719, Joseph Michel Arcon. 1720 to 1736, François Ferrand de Cassé, or D.S. Cassé. 1739 to 1764, Louis Charles Baudouin. 1764 to 1789, Jean Fau de Reyes.